Hi guys and welcome to my channel. So today's video, as you can probably see from the title, is going to be an explanation of my recent hospital visit and also just a general update on how I'm getting on at the moment. So it's quite late when I'm filming this video tonight, but my dad has been to the coast today and he's picked me up some new light bulbs for my bedroom. Woohoo! So hopefully the lighting's okay. And I really just wanted to get this filmed so I can share with you guys what's been going on with me recently. So basically, the format of this video, I think I've learned how to do timestamps. So hopefully I'll be doing timestamps for the video for you. We'll be discussing my recent hospital admission. So the build up to it, what happened whilst I was there and how I recovered, and also an update on new and very exciting plans for my channel. So I just want to start out this video basically by saying a massive thank you to those that both watch and are subscribed to my channel. It's a huge confidence boost for me to know that I'm helping people, and the private messages I'm getting saying that you found my videos useful, that's what this is all about for me. So I just want to say a sincere thank you before we dive into this video. So let's just start off with what's been happening with me recently. So I was taken into hospital. It was not somewhere that I wanted to be at the time. So I just want to discuss a bit about what happened there and how I'm doing now that I'm obviously back at home, as you can see from the background, and I'm feeling better than ever. So I just want to give hope to those who may find themselves in a similar situation. So in terms of why I ended up in hospital in the first place, it was basically what's been going on up here. So I've been struggling a bit recently. I've been very overthinking things, over-analysing, very stuck in my own brain. And I'd found that I'd been isolating myself. I'd not been reaching out for support and I'd been withdrawing from any kind of social interaction. Obviously, we've got restrictions in the place at the moment, but I'm on about even like through text messages, checking in on Facebook, things like that. I found I'd taken a complete step back from that, and all my thoughts were just becoming too much for me to handle, and I was not discussing them with anyone. So that was a major factor in what led to me having to go to hospital. So I think what basically happened was I've been distracting from these thoughts going on in my head and all these doubts, worries and insecurities, and I hadn't been addressing the root cause. Like I say, I wasn't reaching out, and what basically seemed to happen was my brain just snapped and I couldn't deal with it anymore, and I became in a position where I was actually unsafe. So I had to be taken into hospital for my own safety. So the whole thing, honestly, it feels like a bit of a blur now. To be honest, it was a traumatic time to go through, and I remember being at home and I remember freaking out, and my dad saying, I'm gonna have to take you to hospital, and me absolutely begging him not to, but he knew for my best interest that was the right thing to do. And then the next thing I recall, so I don't remember the journey there, is been sat in the waiting room and just been in absolute hysterical tears. I remember scratching at my skin, and there were people in the waiting room that were having to offer me tissues because my skin had been bleeding, and that's sort of what I do when I get really agitated. And I remember just looking around and thinking, how have I ended up here? And just been in a complete state of kind of shock, disbelief, anxiety. And then the next thing I know, I just ran straight out of the hospital. I don't know what I was running from. I don't know where I was trying to run to. I think it was more a metaphorical, like running from my issues or something. But let me tell you, I don't think I would have given Usain Bolt a run for his money. I tell you that now. And the hospital people had chased after me, and eventually they caught me up when I just collapsed in absolute exhaustion. And I must say, they treated me with nothing but respect, dignity and compassion, and that is what has helped me get back on form today to be able to do this video, and I couldn't be more grateful. So when they'd caught up with me, they reassured me, and they were able to take me back to hospital so we could discuss what was going on in my own brain. And that's when I was given the option then to take a sedative, which was lorazepam, and I agreed to do so. I was kind of in the state of mind of it's not going to make the slightest bit of difference to how I feel, but if you want to do it, go ahead. And I must say it really was effective at helping me be able to calm down enough to have this conversation with them. Once I've been taken back in to have a chat with them, the crisis team, I've had difficult experiences with them in the past, but I must say this is the most positive experience I've ever had. And I discussed what had been going on. Obviously, they had my full notes there, so they were able to see that I've been trying really hard, sort of day in, day out, with my mental health recovery and my journey. And so rather than feeling like I was being judged for being there, because at first I felt like a complete failure that I'd ended up back in hospital. I was able to then perceive it as being the stepping stone to getting me back to the health that I want to be at mentally and physically. So once the sedatives had started to kick in and I was not screaming anymore, I was feeling a lot more calm and up and able to have a discussion. We were able to talk about the underlying cause, which is basically that I've not been reaching out for help when I need it. And what I've been doing is bottling up my feelings and bottling up all these emotions, all these thoughts, and not discussing them with anyone. I was trying to put on this false wall of strength, if you like. And I realize now in hindsight that talking through your issues as they occur is basically the way forward to moving through your mental health and feeling back on top form again. So I was able to actually leave that night. At first, they were not willing to let me go until they knew I was going to be safe. But we set a plan in place while I was there of when my care coordinator would be able to contact me and sort of upcoming appointments and things. My dad was with me the whole time. He was absolutely fantastic. And obviously, they made sure that I was going to be safe to be discharged. And he is just, the way he handles mental health is absolutely brilliant. He's so understanding about it. And obviously, he took on board what they said. And he made sure he knew when my appointments were and things to ensure that I wasn't going to miss them. And then I was able to go home, and by this point the sedatives were really starting to kick in and I was just ready for a good night's sleep. I don't really remember the drive back home, but what I do remember, funny story looking back on it, all I wanted to do is get home and see my kitten Freddie and give him a big cuddle. And my dad had said once we put the key in the door and opened it up, look, there's Freddie on the stairs, he's waiting for you. And I went to go give him a stroke and it was a pile of books. And he went, not there, you numpty, on the top of the stairs. So this was when I knew it was time to get some sleep and reassess things when I woke up the next morning. I was able to get a decent, it was somewhere between 12 and 16 hours. It was a long sleep after that. And then when I woke up, I spoke to my care coordinator the next day and she instructed flat out that I take a week off all work. And to me, I was like, how am I going to go a week without doing anything? A week with my own thoughts, that's absolutely terrifying. But this is the point that I want to make with this video, is that week off completely helped me get to a good, stable and productive and happy point now. So I'll go into a bit more detail about that. So I decided to, rather than trying to fight it, just embrace the fact that I was going to have a week off and try and get to some of the underlying issues. And I realised that one of the main things was I have not been getting the balance right with things. So I've been overworking and under resting, and that has always been an issue for me. If you look back on my previous videos, I've spoke about that and the importance of getting the balance right. And this is why I want to be really honest in this video. I do try and follow the tips that I know help my mental health, but sometimes we all have setbacks, we all have slips, and I don't ever want to feel like I'm preaching, because I'm coming from a position where I understand, I go through it, and I want to document that through my videos. So that's why I just want to be upfront and say I wasn't getting the balance right, and it was really time for me to reassess this and start doing things a little bit differently. Once I also realised another issue had been that I've been isolating myself, I started pushing myself to make those social interactions again, reach out to people, respond to the messages of people checking if I'm okay because they realised I'd gone silent, things like that. And it was difficult at first. Honestly, my anxiety was quite high, making these connections again, but I really started to feel myself come out of my shell over a period of time. And I think that's really important, is don't isolate yourself when you're feeling stuck in your brain and you're not able to make sense of these thoughts. The best thing you can do is talk it out with those people that you love and that you trust and that genuinely have your best interests at heart. Once I'd taken the week off and I'd done a lot of self-reflection and obviously come to terms with what the underlying issues are and the changes I need to make, I was ready to start introducing myself gradually back into my work schedule again, but in a much more balanced and effective way than before. I think one of the main epiphanies that I had during this time is that happiness is not a set destination that you reach and you're just there and everything in the garden's rosy all the time and that's it and it's all perfect. It's more you're on this journey and you find these moments of joy as you go along. You embrace these opportunities as they come up. So the opportunities for laughter, the opportunities for compassion, these kind of things. And that's what truly is the medicine to the heart and the soul. And that's something I've realized now. And it means I'm not setting my expectations too high. And I'm also practicing more mindfulness to make sure that I'm aware of these moments of joy and that I'm fully grasping them with both hands now. So instead of just being full steam ahead, work, which is basically my coping mechanism, I had a look at how many hours I was actually working per week. And by work, I mean like self-development courses, all those kind of things that I do to like learning basically. And to be able to assess where I can make some tweaks there to allow more recreational time and time for fun activities, so that I'd be able to get the balance right to hopefully stop any further hospital admissions. Now, one thing I can say with absolute truth as to why this hospital admission was the best thing to happen to me. So before all this happened and I was made to reassess everything, I was waking up with this feeling in my stomach every morning, like an uncertainty, an anxiety, a feeling of, I don't want to face today. And now, after this has happened and I've made these changes and I've had a proper look into things and used this whole experience to move myself forward, I genuinely wake up now feeling, bring on today. I can't wait for today. Let's seize the day. And that's really why I wanted to make this video, to give you hope that even if you do find yourself in that hospital ward, or even if you do find that you're feeling at an all-time low, if you work at it and you take the right steps, you can get back to feeling on top of the world again, I promise you. So the main points that I've taken from this whole experience that I've been through recently and that I really want to share with you are: make sure you talk through or vent your feelings so you're not just stuck in your own head. I promise you it helps. It just gives you this sense of relief. They say a problem shared is a problem halved, and I truly do believe that. Also, always prioritize self-care. Make time for your self-care. Do things just purely because you enjoy them. Don't ever feel guilt about doing things that you enjoy, and don't feel like you always have to be working, always have to be progressing, because sometimes with mental health, maintaining is as effective as progressing. And finally, if you do find yourself in a similar position to where I've been recently, where your mental health has taken a bit of a nosedive, you may even be feeling at an all-time low, allow yourself that time to rest and to heal. Reflect on what's been going on. Maybe you like to do some writing or journaling, or maybe like drawing and expressing yourself that way is more your thing. But yeah, do a bit of reflection and don't be over pushing yourself, because it will have taken out of you, and you need to allow your body and your brain that time to rest and heal. So now finally, the really exciting bit, I just want to talk about what my upcoming plans for the channel are. So as you can see, I'm not wearing the headphones anymore because I got a new phone. Yay! So that means I'm now able to do more complex projects, like back burner ideas that I've had that I've been really passionate about but wasn't able to do with my old phone. So I'll just give you a brief little snapshot of what those are going to be now. So the mental health type videos that I've been doing seem to have actually been really useful to people, so I definitely want to keep doing videos like that because I'm very passionate about it, and I have a lot of ideas and sort of tried and tested tips and things that I do know work for me personally, so that will still be a goer on my channel and something that I'm keen to stick to. Also, if you see previous on my channel, I've done some videos to do with mania, so basically when I'm at a very high energy level, and I'd be keen to reintroduce those types of videos as well, like kind of like vlog style really. I mean, I am an amateur, so they're certainly not professional videos by any means, but I have a lot of fun filming them, and I've got some artwork projects that I've got planned to do around and about the house, so I thought it might be fun to incorporate those into my videos too. And finally, so the biggest project that I have planned is the journey of what I've been through with my eye. So if you've been watching the channel, you will know that I do wear a false eye, and I've never really explained in detail what's happened there. So I thought of maybe doing a project where I explain that in full. It's quite complicated. It's a complex thing to discuss. I haven't quite been ready to do so yet, but my confidence is starting to build as I'm doing videos. So I would like to share that story soon, and that is a project in the making, so stay tuned for that one. So just a final thank you once again to those of you who watch this channel and subscribe, and stay tuned for the upcoming video ideas that I'm very excited and passionate about. As always, feel free to leave a comment on how you found today's video, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Bye.